Washington Commanders. They're a football team. They got a new owner. Their new owner said they're not going to rename the team. I think they should rename the team. And I think we can come up with a better team name than the Washington Commanders. I'll start with the Washington Joe Bidens.
Okay.
Because they're very old and corrupt as an
Have we
organization.
considered the Washington Redskins? I know it's a wild. Does that seem like a name that could work for
I
it?
don't think that'll work, Miles. I think it's going to be socially problematic.
More so than the Joe Bidens.
We got the Washington Snakes.
What kind of snakes would they be?
DC politicians. DC's full of snakes.
It would just be a snake in a suit with an American
flag
tip
pin,
lapel.
filibustering the game, won't let anybody play.
How about the Ted Ocasio-Cortezes?
Ted Ocasio-Cortez's.
Yeah.
That's a cross between Ted Cruz and
It's
Ocasio-Cortez.
just the hottest Hispanic person you've ever seen.
Right?
Yeah.
Ted Cruz?
And you
I'm
can't tell.
waiting
And
to
you
him
can't tell if it's a woman or a man.
I was thinking maybe war pigs, maybe a little bit too on the nose. Washington,
War pigs?
D.C.
That's not bad.
They could utilize the Ozzy Osbourne, or not Ozzy Osbourne. It's
No, it's
Raging-
Ozzy.
It is Ozzy. War pigs.
Yeah, Ozzy.
Yeah, they could. You know how like American movies will use "Fortunate Son" even though it's not a patriotic song. I feel like the Washington War Pigs alliteration.
I like the WWE
See,
on that. Yeah.
in the same way, I always liked the Washington Red Wolves, which was an
That makes sense.
early one that they were kind of throwing around, or like this is what it could be.
You could do the Washington immigrants,
The Washington opium epidemic?
because that's the only time the immigrants will be near politicians. That's the only immigrant they'll let in their neighborhood.
I was thinking Commandos would have been better than Commanders too.
Yeah,
All their
but
fans go commando until the
that's
games.
that's the first thing I thought of when you name a team Commandos.
So then you're going to lose a fortune in team branded underwear. Like they're just not going to
Yeah.
make that part of your profit.
Joe Thomas, shout out. Superstar. He, I believe, retired from the Cleveland Browns the year before I became a fan of them. So I missed the Joe Thomas area, but I get a little bit of a rub off with Joel Bitonio because I
You
believe
like to rub one off to Joe Antonia? Is that what
I would rub one off to Joel Bitonio. I think he is
Bitonio
Who's
is a
your favorite
fucking
lineman
beast.
right now?
Joel Bitonio.
Okay.
It's not even fucking close. I love Joel Bitonio. He
Quentin Nelson guy.
Quentin Nelson's
fuck
awesome.
off, Quentin Nelson. I
Hilarious
hate Pat
pancake.
McAfee and Quentin Nelson because he pumped up Quentin Nelson to such a degree.
He sucked so bad last year.
He didn't even have a good year last year, and Quentin Nelson.
But every year before then, he was pancaking dudes and throwing them across the room.
Yeah, but so was Joel Bitonio, and he
but
never.
does Joe Bitonio have a good, cool personality? Like
Yeah, he does.
Okay, sure.
He
Not
was
with a name like Bitonio. You can't.
Italian.
He's
He
got
was,
a mouthful of pasta, just mumbling shit because
Why do you think he's on the line?
he's always probably talking about his mother. My mother made this pasta.
no,
He's
has
no
a,
Quentin Nelson.
he has a great personality.
Isn't that right, Meatloaf?
Quentin Nelson doesn't have a personality.
What are you
Joel
talking about? He's
Bitonio.
great.
What?
He's a frat boy. Quentin
He
Nelson.
did. He did do
He'd smash a beer in his
beer
head.
chug?
He did the keg stand celebration and the touchdown he didn't score. That was pretty sweet. I didn't forget about that. That is pretty cool. But Joel Bitonio is a cool guy too, and he's better at football than Quentin Nelson. At least at this point in his career, Quentin Nelson flexed out to tackle last year when we had nobody left on the offense, or maybe 2 years ago when we had nobody left on the offensive line. Didn't give up a single sack. Played it incredibly well from the tackle position.
Jesus Christ, you talk so quickly.
Doing pass sets. Sometimes
like a
I
white
get in the
rapper.
rhythm and I feel like I can talk a lot faster than I should. But
But going off of that, I don't know if he's still with the Bucks, but Ryan Jensen, the center, he talks the most shit in the
not familiar
NFL.
with his work.
Oh, you don't know, right?
long
hair,
ginger
blonde
red,
hair,
curly.
center for Tampa Bay.
He's a bad dude, and he gets a lot of people called off sides because he's just talking
I
shit
like
too.
Jason Kelsey as well.
I was gonna say Jason Kelsey would be my
But
next
I
one.
loved Richie Incognito.
Hey, Richie Incognito was such an insane person. It was so great.
Such a good lineman, and I agreed with his politics and his phone calls. Any message, I loved his voicemails.
That seemed like a bad spot.
His were almost as bad as Mel Gibson's. She took the Laker tickets.
Jason Kelsey's Super Bowl winning speech at the parade was the single best speech literally given in sports
Yeah.
history. Are you familiar
And then
with
how
it?
mad he looked when his brother was trying to be all nice to him after the Super Bowl this year. He was like, give me a fucking minute. Just give me a minute.
Did you see him
I don't want to beat you up in front of all these people.
Did you see him playing fetch with his kids after practice the other day? Yeah, he was.
Fetch?
Yeah, he was playing fetch with his two little daughters after practice. Literally just playing fetch with a football. People got offended by it. I'm like, why wouldn't you play fetch with your kids if you had kids? That's
And you can't throw it back.
seems like something that I would do with my children. Joe Thomas.
God, he's a unit.
Catching big old fish out of what I assume is Lake Michigan. The
Jamie,
one
you're a northerner,
big
that's
advantage to living in Michigan, growing up in Michigan, is being semi-familiar with the Great Lakes. Helps in Jeopardy, oftentimes. But
If there's
anyways,
a trivia night, completely derail that. If there's ever a trivia night, I am down if y'all want to go hit that up.
Scuba diving in the Great Lakes. I've never been, but I've always wanted to.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we should do a journey up there. I
The Great
have
Lakes are cold enough that there's a lot of like shipwrecks and stuff, and they're super preserved.
I have real estate
I heard
in
they're
Michigan,
average.
sort of.
Best.
Yeah.
Average.
I know for sure in
Just a good marketing
in
team.
Lake Michigan, there's a like 90-ish feet. There's a really realistic statue of Jason Voorhees, and it really freaks divers out.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Jason Voorhees. Any
Maybe,
other names for the Washington?
Whiteskins. It's the one time Disney won't change it.
I mean, I'm okay with it.
Plus, it's cool. I thought Redskins was a cool name.
Washington Warriors could have been good.
I think in hindsight, I was okay with it at the time. I think in hindsight, whenever you hear someone say Washington Redskins out loud, not on a podcast that no one listens to, it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me. It's just like it's a weird name. It doesn't like Indians don't bother me as much. Like the
Cleveland Indians. Well, now they're the
They're not even
Guardians.
accurate.
Guardians now.
The Indians aren't even accurate because they're portraying a Native American, but they're called Indians,
Yeah, which I think
which is more offensive to me than Redskins because from what I understand is that's what they wanted to be called. It was like an honorary thing.
Yeah, you could never name a team like something like the Browns or anything like that.
Yeah.
That would be offensive.
Well, it's not
Change
that
it to-
Chris D'Elia joke where he's talking
it to
about
the
a black family
African-Americans.
barbecuing in the backyard.
It seems a lot to me that the bigger issue with the name is actually the mascot. Like the it was essentially a
It was
caricature.
a
of a Native
guy
American.
scalping somebody. Who cares? He was just taking fans and pretending to scalp.
I mean, I
people.
donate my hair,
Big
so I get
deal.
it, dude. Like I understand
Joe Thomas absolutely
what's
jocked.
happening right now.
That'd be great.
He's
if,
just
like, the
flexing with
Washington-
his son, I believe.
if
Oh
back
my
in the-
God, I forgot that was Joe Thomas.
It'd be great if back in the
looks
day, like
incredible.
Lost a
Washington.
lot of weight.
All right, I give up.
Well, there's still a lot of this game
Let's
left.
talk about a fucking kid flexing instead of.
We were talking about his dad.
Sorry, go ahead, Spencer.
Now it's too late.
Can I get some fantasy football advice?
Yeah.
from you guys?
Yeah, man.
So we're in that keeper league, and I feel like I'm in a really bad spot.
Oh yeah, you are in a bad spot. You ran this by me earlier. I would love to hear Spencer and Paxton.
Yeah, I want to hear.
What's
So,
your starting
so the
lineup?
keeper league, just for everybody, I get to keep one player from my previous draft, one round prior to the round that I drafted them to last. So my draft last year, you guys, are you ready for this? Austin Eckler, and for what it's worth, I got the third spot. So one off of
Okay.
Paxton's sweet spot. I got the third spot. So Austin Eckler, A.J. Brown, Javonte Williams, Darren Waller, Jerry Jeudy, Chris Godwin, Russell Wilson, James Conner, Damian Pierce, Trey Lance, Pat Freiermuth, Jarvis Landry, the Indianapolis Colts defense, and Russell Gage. Based on the names that I just gave you, and I'll hand you all my phone. It's the third round. The Steamed Lambs is my team name.
I know the correct answer now.
I would like
You
to
get to
know.
keep one.
I get to keep one, and I have to take them the round before I drafted them last year. So, for example, if I took them in the 8th round, I have to use my 7th round draft spot to take that player.
Okay.
Who would you recommend?
Shitcock, that's tough. I'd
I'm in a
want to
bad
say
spot,
AJ
though.
Brown, but you'd have to take AJ Brown in the first round. That's kind of
that
a
seems like a bad choice, Paxton. I don't know much about football, but I think you're not very good at it.
yeah.
I'd keep Eckler.
You
I'd
do
keep-
AJ.
I'd do Eckler because Eckler's.
You
gonna
can't
go-
keep your first round pick
Oh, you can't keep your first round. pick.
because you have to take him a round before.
You didn't explain that.
Yeah. Sorry, I may not have been clear on that. I'll take the L on that one.
Oh,
James Conner.
James
That's what
Conner
I
or
was thinking.
maybe
What
Muth.
round? James Conner?
James
Seventh,
Conner was who I actually
seventh
did
or
last
eighth?
year, and he screwed me.
He's
for what it's
8th,
worth.
and you'd have to take him in the 7th.
So I had him in the 9th the previous year, and I got to take him in the 8th last year, and he was garbage. But I feel like that was largely bad luck.
You could take Pat
What's
Freiermuth
James-
in the 10th That's not bad.
That was also.
I was saying
that's what
Pat
I was actually
Fryermuth.
thinking.
That would be my pick. I believe James Conner is currently going around that 7th round.
So I might be able to pick him up in the 7th.
So you might just get him anyways, yeah, if you want him that bad.
Oh yeah, same team.
I'm a
Damon.
James Conner believer.
The whole point is to get somebody that you couldn't get in that round, and I'm just not in a good position to do that.
You're
Damian
James
Pierce in
Conner?
the 8th isn't bad either.
Who?
Damian Pierce in the 8th.
That's who. That literally, when I drafted
Oh,
him
you have
last
Damian
year,
Pierce? No, do Damian
my
Pierce.
thought was to
Yeah.
redraft him this
I
year,
didn't
but
see Damian
everybody's
Pierce.
really low on him.
Do
this
Damian
year.
Pierce. No, do Damian Pierce.
He could blow
He
up. bro.
murdered until he got hurt.
So you would want to take Damian Pierce
In the
with
7th?
In
the
the 10th.
10th
Oh, in the 10th, yeah.
versus Pat Fryermuth in the what?
Let me double check
Yeah.
that. No, I'm sorry. It would be Damian Pierce in the 8th,
The
or
amount
Pat Fryermuth in the 10th.
I would take Damian Pierce.
That was my initial gut instinct when I drafted him last
In the
year. That's
10th
what I said I
round?
was going to do.
You're gonna get Damian Pierce, a starting running back,
In the 8th.
in the 8th round.
Yes.
Even better. You're gonna get a starting running back
Fryermuth I would have to
who
pick
was
up in the
killing
9th
it
round.
before he got hurt.
And Pierce is
Lark-
going a route.
He's still on a really bad team. But
okay.
he gets a lot of carries because they don't have anybody to pass to.
Yeah, Dalton Schultz is probably going to end up being their wide receiver 1,
He's on
basically.
the Texans, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't be drafting anybody target wise on the Texans, wide receiver wise on the Texans, unless you're in a dynasty league. It's just not
tough.
a safe bet whenever you have a rookie quarterback. Even if they do pan out, like look at how talented Trevor Lawrence was when he came into the NFL and how kind of disappointing his rookie season was. Situations are situational.
Yeah, but you know what rookies do?
What?
Buffs.
Exactly. Yeah. To
So
your
Damian
point.
Pierce is going to be great.
To-
For,
Yeah,
in the 8th round, it's unquestionable. Who gives your tight ends are negligible at that. They're all going to be relatively the same point. All right, I'll give you advice while you walk away.
Well,
Yeah, that is. Shout out to Miles for an absolutely atrocious draft. At least I got Chris Olave. I'm ironically, my league that I manage is ironically like probably the worst league that I'm kind of in going forward.
that's how it always goes. I always end up like in 6th or 5th place in mine. And I want to dismantle the league every season.
I'm better at trading than I am drafting.
I'm better at waiver wires than
So
I am
you're like an
trading.
Andrew Barry.
Because I watch so much football, and a lot of people I play with don't watch it anymore.
Yeah.
And then I can see people who are going to like Tony Pollard. I traded in all my leagues for him early, and I got him for cheap.
Oh boy,
Good pick.
Bad interception.
I traded for James Conner right before he went off
10-20 on the.
for cheap. I get people for cheap because I watch and I go, oh, this guy's going to be good.
That's
Yeah.
where I feel I excel. I don't feel like I excel. I talked about this in the last podcast. I don't excel well when I am reading spreadsheets like all those nerds out there that'll tell you things like how Kenneth Walker isn't that good at football or stuff like that. Crazy stuff like that. That's how you can really tell when somebody's a total spreadsheet nerd when they say
right, yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, that was
I
terrible.
think that was a bad throw. Bad read.
It's all eye test for me. I have to eye test. I don't give a shit what
Same.
you're
It
saying.
has to pass my eye test, and then I'll go in hindsight and make sure I can prove myself right with the stats.
Yeah.
To just double check my own eyes.
So it's not one game.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm the same way. I'm a big eye test guy, and that's why
I also kind of moneyball it.
Oh, good
I prefer higher averages than I do ceilings. So you got people with more ceilings, but I'm like, if I get more high averages out of everybody, I have a more potential to get a high score and beat that person that week.
So what do you mean by higher average? You mean like lower floor, lower basement to a per
So
game basis?
if I have one high ceiling player and then one low ceiling player, I will trade that high ceiling player for 2 higher average ceiling players.
People that are going to normally prefer or perform mid, but are consistent.
So if I have a guy that'll give me 30 points and 1 week and then 10 points 1 week, I'll take the guys that are giving me
Jalen
15.
Waddle?
Yeah, I'll take the guys that are giving me 15 points each week consistently.
I don't know what the difference for that would be. Yeah, that's the fun part about best ball drafts though, is that you can take those boom bust guys and they are ultra valuable, like Taysom Hill, super valuable in
To the
best
Packers,
ball.
I was
too.
a Taysom Hill whisperer last year. Anytime he had a good game, I put him in. I was like, I need a guy because I screwed up on my quarterbacks and I had nobody else for my super flex. And I was like, you're going in, Taysom. And he's like, oh, I'll give you 40 points. How about that? And I'm like, oh, freaking love this Mormon.
Izzy Abanikanda just scored a touchdown. Looked quick around the corner. He doesn't look that big, does he? How big is? Am I wrong? Is he an under 200 pound guy? Izzy Abanikanda? Someone look that up for me.
I got you.
I love the stat that anybody under 200 pounds doesn't do very good.
Well, that was the knock on Jahmyr Gibbs, except he weighed 199 at the combine,
200 pounds.
and then proceeded to run like a 4.240 or something fucking outrageous like that. Izzy Abanikanda looks, fine.
It's like he's 5'6".
Yeah.
Darren Sproles.
Dude, it's funny because like the NFL preseason is both full of a bunch of nobodies, but also like that dude just scored an NFL touchdown technically. So like,
Sort of,
it's a big deal.
Banikanda is 5'11", 215.
There you go.
Oh, everybody,
Yeah, he just looks small.
Everybody around him's huge.
Yeah.
How big is he? 215?
That backup offensive line for the New York Jets was a
He
bunch
looks
of
5'6", 185, but I guess everybody around him's a
big
giant.
old boys. Shout out to Tom Brady. Happy birthday today. Celebrated by purchasing a soccer team.
He bought a soccer team?
Yeah.
Which one?
Dude, did you
Birmingham?
Did you see the ticket prices for Messi is coming to Frisco to play, and like ticket prices are like literally like $10,000, $12,000, $13,000.
It's fucking
like,
ridiculous.
Imagine thinking watching TV in a stadium or watching a game in stadium is better than on TV.
They really did not fill out that. Is this in Canton? This is where this game's played? They did not fill out that stadium as
Not
well.
nearly as well as Taylor Swift would have.
For it being in fucking Ohio.
It's in Ohio, yeah. Why? Where's all the Browns fans? I guess they don't care. They just want to see Deshaun play.
They're just disgruntled, dude.
Well, how bad do you really want to go see a preseason game?
Bad.
A preseason game
I would see
Yeah,
it.
this is week 0. This doesn't even
that I
count.
hadn't even heard of until today.
Well, I'm going to turn the video off, but before then, we will sign off here officially. If anyone wants to hang out for the rest of the game, we'll fast forward through. We'll keep you on track. We'll do just an audio version of the second half. My name is Jamie Jakes. This has been What Are You Talking About with Jamie Jakes. You can follow me at Dr. Jamie Jakes on Instagram. You can follow me at JAMJKS on Twitter. Please like and subscribe to the channel. You're getting on the ground floor. You are incredible. I appreciate you listening all this way through. Mr. Miles Francis, what do you got to say to him?
You can follow me everywhere online at Mr. Most Days Off. If you're on that platform and I'm not, please message me on one of the ones I'm on so I can claim that claim that username.
Or claim it and then sell it to him.
Spenser,
I'm a comic. I have no money, Spencer. What the fuck are they gonna get out of
Tweet
me?
is him.
I might find a quarter on
ruin
my
his
way to the
career.
car, guys. I'll give you that.
Spenser ONeill, first-time guest on the show. I'm very excited to have him back
First time,
on.
last time.
Well, if you will come back on, I would like to talk more, have a more substantive chat
Long time caller, first time watcher.
with you on this podcast.
Dive deep a little bit more into the football. Get these 3-year-in nerds out of here.
Hey, I'm not 3 years in.
I'm not here for content, just to be funny,
thinks
my friend.
This guy's hitting on black dudes while we're trying to talk about Najee Harris juking at the line of scrimmage.
That wasn't them.
Spencer, do you have anything to promote?
Just check me out on Instagram or my podcast. My podcast is Everything Podcast on YouTube, and then Every Theme Podcast on YouTube, and then Spenser ONeill on everything else.
I've been on the Every Theme podcast 2 or 3 times. All the episodes were great.
Did well numbers wise.
Yeah.
One of them was CrossFit. What were the? Oh, the chiropractic.
CrossFit, ice bath, and
I didn't see the
chiropractic.
So I was thinking about. So I have a YouTube channel that's dormant currently with subscribers. I need to start back up, and I was thinking about basically doing what we did with get an adjustment with comedians, and then go make them work out and make fun of them.
I'm down for half of that.
That would be the whole podcast.
That's the one thing about the podcast is you come up with these themes and you're like, actually, this would probably be a pretty good podcast. Like we did one walking, like that would probably be our only reoccurring one, but we walked through downtown Dallas and it was fantastic. And I'm like, we could do this in every city.
Yeah. Or in
That'd be
Dallas,
cool.
just every day.
Cool way to get out and go to
We did
different
one
cities
recently
too.
walking at night in pitch black in the middle of the woods. It was fucking
Spooky.
terrifying.
You didn't get to upload that one because your phone was stolen halfway through?
No, it's actually coming out in like 3 weeks.
Paxton Bailey, what do you got to tell him?
Follow me on Instagram at pbailey_comedy. And I've got a couple shows coming up, so get on there and check it out.
Hell yeah. Thank you. And good night for now. Does anyone want to hang out and do the second half of the Hall of Fame game with me?
Oh yeah.
Okay, fuck yeah. Let's we're gonna turn the camera off. We're gonna have a good time.
get up early.
We are at 8:10 on the podcast, and I am turning off the camera. Good night. All right, man. Spencer, are you sticking around?
No, I gotta get up in 4 hours.
I think I have to get up tomorrow early too, but frick it.